Hello, Natalie's team. Team Hadley, how are you guys? I am going to do training for you. Natalie did a really good training for my team, and I wanted to do one for you guys and give you some input just from my own experience and try to help you guys with some ideas. Um, so I'll wait for a couple of you to get on. Say hello when you get on here. And if this isn't live, of course, you can rewatch it and take notes. Just say hello when you get on. And I'll tell you, I'll be covering some things about selling that I think work well and some things about recruiting, okay? So grab a pen and paper if you want. Hi, Robbie. Say hi if you guys want to. I'll get started in like 1 minute. Make sure a few people get on. Feel free to ask questions too if you want to, because it'll give us a little bit more to embellish on if you guys have any questions. Hi, Christina. Hi, Shannon. I've known Natalie for a long time, by the way. We both started Paparazzi years ago. I started in October, end of September 2011. And Paparazzi's only been around since January 2011. So I know Natalie's been around for quite a while too. So we've gotten to know each other and it's been really neat. Hi, Stephanie. All right, I think I'll get started. So I'm going to talk to you guys about some tips and tricks on selling and on recruiting, and believe it or not, they kind of go hand in hand. And so the first thing I want to tell you guys is that becoming a really, really good seller will put you on the road to recruiting. Because when you sell the jewelry well and you try your hardest and you work until you don't have, like you work until it works and you don't quit, you will end up recruiting because you're going to gain some confidence in your experience. You're going to gain some stories through your experience, and then you'll have some teaching moments to help your team and to inspire other people to join your team. So, hey Natalie, thanks for letting me do this. This is fun. There's Nancy and Cassie and Jeanette. Thanks for being here, guys. So, we'll start with a couple of things. Let me tell you guys about myself and kind of like my little paparazzi story. My sister went to an in-home party when paparazzi was very, very new. And I actually lived across the country in Virginia, but she was here in Utah, and she attended a party, called me on the phone and said, "You need to sell this." And I'm like, okay, I will. So I just went off my sister's recommendation. So I looked on the website. I tried to call my future sponsor several times until she's like, "I guess I have to answer this," even though she was busy. And I signed up. She answered my questions when she was even working at an event. So then I started doing what everybody else did. I was selling in person, and things were fine. They were difficult. And I don't know if a lot of you guys have been around very long, but selling in person is a lot more work than selling online. And you probably know that by now, but I pushed through that for 5 years, just like Natalie did. And we sold in person and did okay. I actually won 2 Z runway contests before you could only win just one. So I do have a necklace named after me. And when I look back at my numbers, I didn't even sell that much, but compared to other people who were quitting and were not trying hard, I was doing okay. So I was able to do those accomplishments, and all the while that happened, my sponsor and her sponsor quit the business completely. And I could have stopped because they quit, and then I could have just said, well, they're quitting, so I'm quitting. But I learned really fast that your sponsor doesn't make or break your business. And so you can keep it on your own. You can do your business the way you want, and you can work it as hard as you want to. So I just kept going for it because I believed in the company and I believed in the product, and I just kept going for it. So everything that I've been doing kind of since the beginning was kind of on my own, especially because I was across the country from my sponsor and we didn't really do online stuff that much. So it's been a really cool experience. When Facebook Live started, I saw these people selling pearls online, and I'm like, well, I can do that. And then I also saw some LuLaRoe girls selling box openings in their groups. And so I actually copied them and started selling on Facebook Live. I was one of the first 5 or so people starting to do it for Paparazzi, and we didn't know it would take off like it did, but thank goodness, right? So Facebook Live, what I'm coming to tell you is Facebook Live is how I sell. That is how I sell my jewelry, just like most of you guys. And hi, Michelle. I'm just seeing if there's questions. And if you have any, totally ask. Totally fine. And I'm glad there's a bunch of you guys. This is fun. So I've been doing Facebook Live for a long time. Now, some of this that I'm going to tell you is my personal choice because of different, things in my own family. We moved across the country 2 years ago, and I sold all of my tents, pegboards, tables, everything. And I gave them to some team members and stuff. And I decided to take the online selling 100% and to make sure it would work so that when I could teach my team, I could teach from experience. And so my goal was to make my business hearty and awesome through online selling only. And I was determined to figure it out. So I sold all my stuff, moved across the country, kept selling online, and said, hey, this has to happen. So I did that, and I kept sticking to my schedule, and the online selling was going very, very well. So, and in that time, a year ago, I was able to hit Life of the Party Diamond. And then just about 5 days ago, I hit Life of the Party Black Diamond for this year. So it's been a really, really fun road. I love it. You guys know this, right? We're all obsessed with paparazzi. And not just obsessed with the jewelry, we're obsessed with the business and obsessed with the idea of helping other people and learning how to make this work and then sharing that with other people. So let me tell you a few things that have really, really helped me with selling first, and then I'll talk about recruiting. Hi, everybody. Cool. I love this. Some of you guys are some of my friends already, so this is fun. So as far as selling goes, the biggest thing you need to do is find a wider audience. You always have to be finding new people. Now, when I joined in Virginia, I didn't know anybody. I had lived there for 1 year, and I was selling in person, right? And I did not want to ask my friends and family to buy this jewelry. I didn't sign up to bug my family and friends. I was not going to do that. So what my plan was, and it worked quite well in person, if any of you guys still sell in person, was to go to events and meet new people. In doing that, though, nowadays, because I didn't know this until recently, when you meet people in person with paparazzi jewelry, you need a way for them to shop from you again. And so something kind of cool happened. I went to an event that was about 3 hours from my house, and I sold jewelry at a high school at a Taste of Home cooking show, and it was really fun. And I did okay there, and I collected names and phone numbers of people who might be interested. I always collected names and phone numbers and emails, but I never knew what to do with them. So this happened about right before Facebook Live came out, about 3 years ago. And one of my customers emailed me or called me or something and said, I want to buy more jewelry. And this was a first for me, because I did events far away. I did events between 1 and 3 hours away all the time. And I never really had returning customers because I didn't know how to hone that in. I didn't know what to do. And I had emailed people in the past, but nothing really ever happened. And so this lady asked me for more jewelry, and I said, well, I'll put pictures up. I'll put pictures up in my group. And we all had VIP groups, but we didn't know what we were doing. And so I posted these pictures, and this lady bought $300 worth of jewelry. So I'm like, wow, there is something to this. She's 3 hours away, but she knows me, and she's buying again. So she did that a few months in a row. She bought $200 or $300 orders, maybe 3 or 4 times. And she was a returning customer, and right there a light bulb went on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, returning customers are the secret to this business. And I still think it's true. So as far as selling goes, your goal is to get a wide audience to meet initially, and then you need them to come back. So those are your 2 goals, okay? So how can you find new people, and how can you get people to come back to you? So let's talk about them coming back for a minute. When you meet them in person, you need them to find you again. So giving out business cards sounds like it's probably the right thing to do, but if you think about the last business card you got, you probably threw it away. You probably don't even know where it is. So there's a trick to this. What you want to do is you want to make something called a call to action. So your business card can have this on it, on the back of it usually, or you can even just make a handout or a flyer. But a call to action is an action that your customer has to take next. They have to make the next move. Because if you give them a business card with just your email, they're never going to write to you. It's just how it is, okay? So some good ideas for calls to action are some kind of coupon. So if you wrote free shipping on your first order from me online, that's a really, really good one. Or you could do, I do drawings every Monday for my new group members. And so you can invite them to join your VIP group. And then you can do drawings every Monday night live or something so that you can get them to join, which would be the action. You could have people go to the website and pick out their favorite 5 items and email you pictures, and then you would send them a free gift. So there's like a whole bunch of ways that are calls to action to get people to shop from you again. That's the trick, okay? So buying again. So that's in person. That's actually really easy. So you just need opportunities to meet people, which would be doing events and parties. Home parties work too. And then get them to shop from you a second time. So let's talk about online for a minute. We'll go backwards a little bit. So to get people to come back again online is quite easy. What I use as the #1 tool in my business is called Text Alerts. And some of you guys might use this already. It changed my business. This is what helped me hit diamond and black diamond was Text Alerts. What I do is I collect people's phone numbers when I meet them. So in person, of course, you could do a thing that said, join my Text Alerts and get in a drawing. You could totally do that. When I first set up my Text Alerts, I did a contest and I said, everybody who joins my Text Alerts in the next 48 hours will be in a drawing for five different drawings for pieces of jewelry or something. So for me, Text Alerts is the number one way to get people to come back. And the cool thing about using Text Alerts is it is not connected to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or anything. So if Facebook died tonight, I could still sell the jewelry and hit black diamond because my customers can find me based on whatever I send them in my text alert. So the text alerts are imperative to a business. I wouldn't even run it if I didn't have that resource. There are different companies out there. I'm not going to recommend one or the other, but you can look them up, and it's called SMS Text Alerts. And when I do it, I go live first, and then I go on my computer and get my link to my video, and then that is what I send out. I send the actual link to when I'm live. So it'll say, I always say, come say hi and see if you like anything, or I try to make it really not scary. I don't say, come buy my jewelry. I'm like, come see what I'm teaching today and all my cute stuff or whatever. So, oh, I'm so glad, Brandy. I think it's so true. So, yeah, text alerts are awesome. Part of the text alerts is also the Facebook Messenger alerts. If you're interested in looking into that, there's a couple of free companies out there. The one I use is called manychat.com. Same idea. You can send them out. But the thing with that is it's connected to Facebook. People don't check them as quickly as text alerts. So I do those in addition to text alerts. Half the people are probably the same. But those might be going away at the end of July. And that's another reason that text alerts are so cool, because they're not connected to anybody making any dumb rules. So it's good to have some kind of foundation and something solid on your business that you can count on. Okay. SMS text alerts is what they're called. And they're not cheap. You have to pay for them. But when you do the math, you will totally make money. So that is how I get repeat people to come to my jewelry sales. Okay. And I'll talk about finding new people in a minute. The second thing that has helped me sell a ton of jewelry is albums. And I know not everybody does albums because for one reason or another, usually it's because they see people sell live. And so that's what they think everybody's doing is only going live. But honestly, about 2/3 of my business comes from album sales, not even from live sales. So what I do is I have a schedule set up that I have put on my cover photo of I go live on my business page. This works with either way that you want to do it. But on my cover photo, it has my schedule, and it has my schedule on my VIP group as well. And then I go live twice a week and I post albums twice a week. And then I invoice once a week, but you could still do this with your own system. But what I do is I will post an album on my business page, and then I'll get that link and I send a text alert again. Okay. So the text, so what happens is, and my sisters who know me how to find me on Facebook, they're like, I'm so glad you have text alerts because I can never find you. I'm like, okay, that means everybody can't find me, right? So I just love that I have that resource to use. So when I go live or when I post an album, I make it happen first. Like I go live first or I post the album first, then I message the text alert. That has been so reliable that I don't ever have to even say, going live tonight. I don't ever have to do any of that because the text alerts are where it's at. How do you collect their phone numbers? So you can do a contest, you can post a contest, and you can go live and talk about a contest for people joining your text alerts initially. The other thing I do that works really well, there's two things. One is when I'm live selling jewelry, every 20 minutes, I'll say, hey, if you want my text alerts, just message me your phone number and I'll put you on them. I mean, it's that easy. So when they have to do less work, it's more likely to happen. Sequence says, okay, this is good, Natalie. You'll probably have to teach your team about that. And then the, what was I saying? Oh, the two places. So I mentioned the phone number to tell me their phone number when I'm live. The other place is on my VIP group questions, because you can put questions when people request to join your group. I write, what's your phone number? Do you want to be on my text alerts? And about half the people give me their phone number. And then when you do a text alert, people can opt out really easy. So it's not pushy at all, especially because they are initiating that request to be on your text alerts. So it's a really cool thing to do, and it will keep your sales consistent and reliable. Like I know how much money I'm going to make when I sell each week. So it's really cool. All right. You'll have to look up the prices, Jeanette. They vary. Okay. I have a company I love, but I don't want to, like, you guys can look it up if you want to try to figure it out. But I don't want to get in trouble for promoting anything. So just any generic text alerts works. Okay, so how do you get these people? Initially online, right? So initially in person you do events and parties. Online though, there's a few ways. So we know share drawings work. Share drawings, and I don't even know if we can say the word share right now because of Facebook algorithms. So yesterday we were saying invite all your friends through your personal wall on Facebook. So get people to share your video. That really works. I mean, it's a solid. So make sure that you are doing that. The second thing that you can do is, of course, send out your text alerts so your people come back. I have a lot of people who are on my alerts who don't shop every single week, but people come back. So like I have people from 3 months ago that come back periodically and shop, or a year ago, because they're like, oh, I'll do it one day. And then they do come back one day. They don't forget about me. Okay, so the best thing to do though is to, and this works really, really well. And it works so well that I didn't do share drawings forever, like a year or something. I do them now because they help, but this is a really effective way to get more people. What you want to do is you want to make sure your videos are entertaining, okay? Now that doesn't mean you have to be an entertainer. So let me give you some different scenarios or like ideas. So you guys have seen people who go live and they're like funny as heck. They're really funny to watch. They're solid. They know what they're doing, okay? So people are going to come back and watch them, and they're going to share without even you asking, because they're going to be like, look at this funny lady. She's crazy. And they're going to come watch her. So there's other things you can do though. So you can be entertaining that way. You can be funny. You can tell jokes. I have a girl on my team who does Family Feud night. And I do teaching. Clearly, you guys have probably seen me, but I do teaching while I sell. So I teach selling tips and stuff like that. You can teach about jewelry. There's your customers love jewelry, and so you can teach them jewelry tips and tricks. I've repaired jewelry on live video 20 times because people love to learn and they like things that have value to it instead of you just saying, give me money, right? So you want to do things that give things back to them. So entertainment is it. So you can do teaching. You can do like trivia. One time I printed out those word games that were like a little square and you tell people to solve the riddle. And so I did those. this is kind of dumb, but I always ask people what they had for dinner, and that's kind of fun because we get a conversation going. One of my friends does, it's like a therapy group kind of, and so they chat with each other like a bunch of women, and they get like their emotions out, and they get to share with this community of people. So it's not just about jewelry. I promise you guys, it's not. And you have to do something that is going to keep them around. If you get on there and only sell, they're going to go to somebody else over time because they're going to find out the other person is more entertaining and fills their needs more. Okay. All right. So the online, I'm just going to try to think if there's any more, because this is where it's at. If you can get more people on your live videos, you're going to totally do better in the company. So often I will show my real life of what's happening in the moment. So last night we were talking about my organizing. They're like, she's so organized. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I showed them my office, and they were like laughing. They thought it was funny. I've done that before. Sometimes I'll show them my like supplies that I use, and then they'll ask where I got them, and so we'll talk about that. So it gives you something to talk about while you're selling. So if there's people that are watching, they can still have fun even if they're not buying, and that's what gets people to come back. One other thing is, when you are live, on your description of your live video, you want to put a link to I do my VIP group. I don't know if all of you guys do groups, but I have a link to my VIP group and a link to my albums. So at the beginning of every live video, I say, if you're not live right now, you can shop from my albums instead. The link is here in the description, and then they can join do my albums. Same with the group. I'm like, join my VIP group so you can do pre-orders. That's where I do pre-orders, by the way. And they can click on that link and join. So when they join my group, I'm asking for their phone number, guys, right? And if they want to shop my albums, they can go shop my albums and quit watching me. And what happens a lot is, this is the funny part, is I will get people joining the group and people shopping from my albums after I go live who I never even saw on my video. Because I would guess at least 75% of the people who watch you are not brave enough to buy from you on video. So they're going to go sneak away and shop on the albums because they either are too shy, or they don't have the time to watch your video, or they don't care about the community. So all of these different ideas are going to get more and more people to come. All right. Okay. There's more. I wanted to say more. I just thought of it. Okay. Here's an idea. Two selling ideas, 2 more selling ideas, and then we'll talk about recruiting for a minute. So you guys probably do this. This is kind of new to me because I like to keep things simple, and I like to work the least amount of time possible. A lot of people are doing pre-orders right now. So what you can do is, today's order that you got, there's a couple of hot sellers that you probably got, like a couple of hot items. You can post those right now in your VIP group and do pre-orders just like you would do for your fashion fix. And you can do pre-orders of those items and let people snag up what they want before you even show it on live video. And that, I have learned, for me, that gets me more sales. It's not like the same people are buying from those 2 places. I usually get more sales, and so I can sell half on my VIP group where I posted the pre-order, and then I show the other half on live and put the leftovers in the album. So, you're sweet. Thanks, Roberta. So doing that, the pre-orders helps tremendously, and you can do those from your daily orders. And then, of course, you're going to want to do your fashion fix pre-orders. If you're not selling your fashion fix pre-orders, don't give up on that. The first couple months I did it, I didn't sell any. But just be consistent, like keep doing it anyway, because there's people who maybe eyeballed it and they don't like the jewelry, but the next month they'll be like, oh yeah, I just didn't like the jewelry last time. So be doing your pre-orders, and then anybody who's life of the party, and when you guys get to start in September, those who are new, do their pre-sales on the pre-orders for the life of the party. They are really good too, okay? All right, so the other thing you can do this is, I wouldn't say it's controversial. It costs money. So make sure that you grasp this idea before you try it. I was observing some other people who sell a lot of jewelry, and there's one person who does buy 5, get free shipping. So I was like, okay, I want to do that, but how on earth can I afford buy 5, get free shipping? I'm going to lose like half my profit. So I did the math, realized I would lose half my profit, but decided to do it anyway. And you do have your hostess rewards that you're not really selling anywhere probably, so you can afford it a little bit. But I tried it, and here is why, okay? And I do it all the time now. I tell them buy 5 on live, get free shipping. Okay, that's the thing that I always do. And here's why it works for me. When you can get people to stay, it will help your algorithm for your video. When you can get people to buy 1 and then think that she needs 4 more, you're going to get rid of more jewelry. Like, you're going to hit your life of the party quicker. Even if you got to have to think it this way. Do you want to just sell 1 piece of jewelry and make however much, that profit? Or do you want to sell 5 pieces and make just a little more? Well, I would rather sell more and get rid of it faster so that I can hit my goals, my life of the party, be a better seller, teach more people, get more experience, just do everything in massive quantities. And it's really been working. And so I do buy 5 on live, get free shipping. So you get people to buy more. You create a frenzy because people are like talking and being active and keeping your video active, and people who are lurking are seeing other people buy. So it's not like dead. And it just, I don't know, I love it. It totally works. And then a lot of the people who do the sale end up buying more anyway, because they're like, I might as well buy more, right? So I love it. And I think it works. I just love it. So then I started doing buy 5 in albums, get free tax. And if you don't have tax, I don't know what to tell you. But if you do have tax, you can use this as leverage. I get people who shop on my lives to come shop my albums. Usually it is a different group of people. So what's cool is my live people who like a sale, they go to my albums and shop where they would never have looked in the past. So I often sell 10 pieces to each customer, right? I sell a lot. So I try to sell, and my shipping is flat rate, so it's easy to do the math. But I'm able to sell more to each person. And then they love it because they save money, and I love it because I sell more. So there's less work to like handle. I don't have to handle as many individual orders and individual invoices. And then one other thing about that is when I look at my history of my sales each week, not that many people got free whatever. So it's not killing me. Like, it's not eating up all my profit. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, there you go, Maya. There you go. So that's something you may want to try, is and you can pick your number. Buy 7 on live, get free shipping, whatever you want to do. It just gives people a little bit of a milestone to reach, and it gets you frenzy, and you want that jewelry frenzy for sure. So shipping is different now all over the country. It's a little crazy. I think it's between around $3 to $5.50, $3 to $5.50. I personally charge $4 flat for every order. So on some of them I make $1, but on some of them I lose $1 or $2 or $3 or $4. So, or all of it if I give them free shipping. But guess what? They come back because they know the next week I'm going to give free shipping again. So it keeps people to return to you. Okay. So those are lots and lots of ideas to try to sell a lot. I guess my last tip on that is, if you are finding that you're selling well, then you need to buy more jewelry. You should not be selling out of stuff. You should be having enough for everyone on your live video, and then you can post your leftovers in your albums and cycle them through and rotate them and bring them back again a couple months later. If you're selling out, push harder. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, if you're selling out, buy more stuff. Okay, so let's talk about recruiting. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Just let me know. So this is my personal experience. Everybody recruits differently. And if you want to look on YouTube, there's a video of a bunch of us from Elite who shared our recruiting tips. So I would definitely go look up that video because there's tons and tons and tons of ideas. But the thing that has helped me the very most is to share what I have learned. So if I find a trick that works, like this buy 5 get free shipping thing, and I didn't make it up, it's okay. I tell everybody I didn't make it up, but I tried it. Then I share my experience. And what happens is by sharing your experience, it does a couple things. You create trust. People, you get experience. So it's kind of the same thing. So you have trust and you have experience. You have more authority because it's working and they're going to believe you. And by building this trust and authority with people, they're going to want to join your team. They're going to want to pick you to do this with. So I'm going to try to think of, Natalie, you're so sweet. So I'm trying to think of some other examples of what I have done. This is just recent and it's a new thing, but I came up with a way to use barcodes to track my sales. And I kind of made it this little personal endeavor because I know it will help more people than just myself. So I figured it out, I got it all together, and then I did a teaching video about the barcodes where I didn't even sell. I just taught for free to help whoever wants to learn. And then that established authority and it established credibility. And people are sharing organically, like they really want other people to learn what I'm teaching. And then some of them come back and shop if they want, right? I'm not pulling anybody's arm to make them shop, but some of them do because now they like me. So creating these teaching moments are not by accident. It's a marketing strategy. And it totally works. And so it's called value marketing, and I've taught this before, so some of you guys know. But if you can share with other people what you've learned, even stories, you guys, it doesn't have to be I teach paparazzi. It can be anything. It can be anything relatable. So if you have an experience and you share your story and it hits someone's heart, they're going to connect with you more, and they're going to pick you to join if they decide to join the company. Another thing that you need to do is make sure people know they can join. And so some people don't even know this is direct sales, especially those who discover you for the first time. And so it's important to tell people they can join you. So it wouldn't be a terrible idea to put a sign up here that said, you can do what I'm doing. Send me a message. And so that's something that really helps. Make sure people know they can join you. Let's see. Buy 5, get free shipping is allowed. You can email compliance and make sure. I have one for myself that says it's okay. So, okay, let me think of what else. Okay, here's something. This is a good little mini training, okay? When somebody says you're interested in the business, here is a strategy to move forward with it. Because it's like, somebody said they want to join, now what do I do? I get team members who ask that a lot. So one thing you can do is have a phone. Well, okay, I personally have set up some videos that teach them about the business, and then I tell them to watch those videos, write down their questions, and then let's have a phone call. You can do this same thing without the videos if you want to. So you can make a little teaching video if you want, or not, but then you want to get them on the phone. Don't do this in a message. Get them on the phone because it's going to be a lot more personal, and you can connect through voices, because texting and chatting to each other on typing just doesn't cut it. So you want to make sure you have a phone call with these people. So here's how the phone call runs, okay? So they say they're interested in the business. So first thing you do when you get on the phone is introduce yourself if you don't know each other already, and make it quick. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm so glad that we get to talk on the phone. Tell me about yourself first. I want to get to know you. So they'll usually tell you about their family, if they work already, and if they have kids, whatever, stuff like that. Then ask them why they want to sign up. And they're going to tell you. Usually it's, oh, I need extra money for bills or whatever. But get them to talk about themselves. Getting them to talk is a really good connection for communication, because you can become a very good listener. And they're going to feel that when you listen to them talk, because you don't need to really tell them about the company full force. They'll learn it as they go. It's more about this communication and this connection. So ask them to tell you why they want to sign up. And you don't even need to like say much about that. Be like, oh, that sounds cool, or that's a great idea. Then the next thing you want to do is ask them if they have any questions that they couldn't find the answers to. And you try to, I always say, do you have any burning questions that you couldn't find? And hopefully you can limit it to 2 or 3, because you don't want to sit and tell them about the whole company. It's too overwhelming for most people. So answer their burning questions so that they feel a little more settled on what they want to do. And then lastly, say, well, did you think about what size of kit you want to get? And if they don't know about the kits, tell them about the big one first, and then the medium one, and then the small. And I personally think everybody should get the big kit, because it pushes you to work really hard, really fast. And with online selling, you can sell that pretty fast. So I try to tell everybody to get that, and that's why talking about the big one first works fairly well. But tell them about the kits, and then relate that with what their goals are. If their goals are teeny tiny, don't scare them into a big kit. They can just buy it for fun and get a small kit. But if they have big goals, just explain to them what makes the most sense, and then leave it up to them to make their choice. Your job on the phone is to listen and to be honest. And that's all you have to do. And when you listen and when you're honest, they're going to trust you, and then they can decide what they want to do. And when you talk about the kit at the end, it usually makes it kind of more solidified and a more reality, so they can join right away, we hope. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, guys. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else with recruiting. Giving value is going to get people to connect to you and stick with you the most. That is probably the number one thing about recruiting, in my opinion. And then people are going to start figuring out that they can sell it too, especially when you mention it. And then just every now and then say, hey, send me a message if you think you might want to do this. Let's have a phone call. Knowing that they can have a one-on-one call with you is very special to people, because then they know they'll get your attention, and you can talk about them and their own case so that they can figure out if this is the right move for them. Okay, so that's my tips on training. Recruiting. So I will see if any of you guys have any questions. Those are the basic steps. I would say if you are ready to blow this out of the water, don't quit trying, and get on a schedule and stick to it, even if your results are crappy. Because if you stick to a schedule, it will eventually work. It will totally eventually work. It's kind of like dieting or exercising. If you stick to it, you're going to get results eventually. This is the same thing. If you stick to the business and you stick to working and doing things that work, and you've got a great leader who can tell you what works and what doesn't, when you stick to those things, it's going to pick up and get traction and start to grow. Okay? Okay, cool. I don't see any questions yet, so I think we're finished. Thanks, Natalie, for letting me teach your team. That's pretty cool. I love this kind of stuff too, because now I can download this and share it with my own team. And if you guys want to follow me on YouTube, I have tons of stuff. If you guys want to learn from me, I'm not trying to recruit you. You're already paparazzi girl, or guy. So, but if you want to learn from me, it's open to the public, so you're totally welcome. Cool. You're welcome. Thank you. This is great. And what is today? Wednesday? I hope you guys have a really, really good Wednesday. And just know that you can do it. Didn't know anything about sales when I started. I just knew that if you want things to work, you have to do it. You have to take action. So take action on some of these things that you might have picked up today. So I use Bare Minerals. Bare Minerals, that's what I would recommend. You're sweet, thanks. And just remember, when you guys are live, totally be yourself. Talk about stuff like I just did 2 seconds ago. People will love you more, because they'll be like, oh, she's just normal. Well, I'm just normal too. I can totally do this. You don't want them to be scared of what you do because it looks uncomfortable or it looks unnatural. Yep, just my own name, Saren. The delay on YouTube on here is funny. My son came on my live last night and was telling some jokes, and I'm like, okay, just wait now. They're gonna think it's funny, but you have to wait. And he had to wait like 15 seconds for comments to come up. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, you guys. Bye, Team Hadley.